linear relations, and solving equations. We've already solved lots of simple equations throughout the semester already. We're going to extend our knowledge of solving equations to multi-step equations. We need to remember first that solving an equation means to find the value of the variable that makes the equation true. To find this value and solve the equation requires us to isolate for x, or the unknown, by undoing the operations on x, or the unknown. So really what we're doing is doing BEDMAS backwards. So we're doing the opposite operation to both sides to maintain balance. And we saw that with a balance scale earlier on, and if you want to see that again, go back and watch the lessons in Unit 0 again. Solving for the unknown in each equation. We're going to do a few questions like what we did in Unit 0 here, just to review. First thing I need to think about is, first thing to get rid of when I want x by itself is this positive 5. So we have to undo it by doing BEDMAS backwards to get rid of positive 5, or to do the opposite operation, because this is really only a one-step equation. To get rid of positive 5 and make 0, I need to subtract 5. And if I subtract 5 on the left side, I also need to subtract it on the right side. And when I simplify on the left, I'm adding opposite, which becomes 0. And on the right, negative 17 minus 5 is negative 22. Next equation, t minus 5 is 3. I need to isolate for t, so I need to get rid of subtract 5. Now the opposite of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides in order to keep my equation balanced. And again, I'm combining opposites here. Negative 5, positive 5 is 0, and t is 8. Negative 3y is 18. I need to isolate for y. And if you think back to our balance scale, we were splitting things into groups, and we discovered that to get rid of a multiply by something, we had to divide. Now we can't forget that sign in front of the y also. We have to divide by negative 3 on both sides, and y is negative 6. 1/3 x equals negative 2. This is like divide by 3. In order to get rid of a divide by 3, the opposite of divide is multiply. So I multiply both sides by 3. And remember, when I multiply the left side by 3, it's like writing 3 over 1, because any whole number can be written as a fraction with denominator 1. And what we see happening is these 3's reduce away, and we're left with x equals negative 6. Example 1 asks us to solve for the unknown in each equation and to check part A. So the first thing I need to do is realize I'm getting rid of the positive 5 first, because I have to do BEDMAS backwards, sorry. In order to get rid of positive 5, I have to subtract 5, because that's what's going to make it 0. And if I subtract 5 on the right side, I also subtract 5 on the left. Now on the right side, I've ended up with positive 12 from 17 take away 5. And on the left, positive 5 take away 5 is 0. So I'm left with 3x equals 12. I divide both sides by 3, the number in front of x, and I end up with x is 4. It asks me to check this question. So when I do a check, I have to realize I've got to compare the left and right sides independent of one another. So I look at what's to the right of my equal sign. That's 17, and that's what I'm going to start with on my right side. And I look at what's to the left of my equal sign, and that's what I write in for left side. Now, I solved and I found x was equal to 4. So what I want to do is put brackets around my x, and I'm going to put 4 in those brackets. And then my good friend BEDMAS takes control, and I do the multiplication first. And now I can add. And I see that I ended up with 17 on the left side. And when I compare to my right side, it's equal. And I need to finish it off by saying it equals the right side. If the left side and the right side aren't equal, I've made a mechanical error in my check, or the answer I got over here is incorrect. 2x minus 4 is 20. What do I have to do with this one first? I'm doing BEDMAS in reverse order. So I get rid of the negative 4, and I do that by adding 4 to both sides. Because ideally what I'm looking to do is isolate for the x, and the easiest way to do that is to get rid of all the numbers first and move them all to one side. So now I've got 2x equals 24. I've got two x's. I want to share it all equally between each x. So I have to take 24. I'm sharing it with two x's, 24 divided by 2. Or I think about the fact that this is just multiplication, and in order to get rid of a multiply by 2, I need to divide by 2. And x is 12. 1/3 x minus 12 equals negative 16. Again, I need to get the x's alone first. So to get rid of the negative 12 or subtract 12, I have to add 12 to both sides. Once I do that, I've got 1/3 x equals negative 4. And in order to get rid of this 1/3 in front of x, which is like a divide by 3, I need to multiply both sides by 3. And again, remember that this is 3 over 1. That 3 is reduced, and I'm left with x equals negative 12. Homework for today, please do these questions that are on this page. And I've been really nice. I gave you the answers too. So work through those questions, and I'll see you tomorrow.